Hello, everyone, and welcome to this very special video. My name is Don K. Preston. I am the president of Preterist Research Institute of Ardmore, Oklahoma. I have a website, donkpreston.com or bibleprophecy.com. And there you can find literally thousands of articles to read, totally free of charge. I've written 35 books on Bible prophecy. I've done countless DVDs and MP3s, et cetera, et cetera. That's a little bit of an introduction of myself. Today, I want to focus on an incredibly important issue. All over YouTube right now, all over the news. I watched just this morning this almost phantasmagoric video saying they've already started construction of the third temple in Jerusalem. Oh, and they've got this done and they've got that done. Oh, what about that, ladies and gentlemen? My dispensational friends tell me, and here's the outline, here's the timeline. Just about any day now, the church is going to be raptured off of this earth. And after the rapture takes the church off of the earth, you're going to have this guy named or called the man of sin. He's going to negotiate a peace treaty between Israel and her enemies. He is going to authorize the rebuilding of the third temple. Now, I want you to let that soak in. Why would anybody in love with Jesus be excited about the building of a temple authorized by the man of sin? Have you ever thought about that? I'm sorry. That doesn't really strike me as something that's good. And then, of course, in the middle of a 7-year tribulation or 7-year period of time, that man of sin breaks his treaty with Israel. And that Jerusalem temple is attacked. And ensuing from that is the Great Tribulation against Israel. And at the climax of that Great Tribulation, the Jews cry out to Jesus for salvation, and he appears from heaven, destroys the man of sin, and in some views, he destroys the man of sin temple, in other views, he doesn't. But he delivers the Jews, establishes the messianic, establishes the millennium, and then Jesus himself constructs the messianic millennial temple, which is a fourth temple. Now, that raises the question, does it not? Is the third temple actually being built in Jerusalem? I want to share with you a couple of incredible, basically undeniable points about the current state of affairs. Let me assure you, ladies and gentlemen, we are not in the last days. I've written a book. As I mentioned, I've written 35 books on Bible prophecy. One of those books is The Last Days Identified. And in that book, I demonstrate scripturally with a ton of exegesis. We are not in the last days. The last days were the last days of Old Covenant Israel's theocratic relationship with God that was in the first century, that was terminated with the fall of Jerusalem in AD 70. Okay? So, point number one, we're not in the last days. Since we're not in the last days, we're not looking for the building of a man of sin temple. Point number two, in the dispensational paradigm, guess what? The third temple cannot be built until after the rapture. Let me say that again. The third temple cannot be built until after the rapture, and the man of sin negotiates a treaty with Israel, a peace treaty with Israel and her enemies. Well, let me ask you, has the rapture taken place? We better hope not. You and I are, We're still here. I'm doing this video. You're watching it. That's pretty good evidence the rapture hasn't occurred. So that point number 2, the temple could not be built until after the rapture. And somebody might say, well, yeah, the temple's not built yet, but they're laying the foundation of it. Where's the man of sin? Where's the peace treaty between Israel and her enemies with the agreement that Israel can rebuild the temple? Where is that treaty? Where is the man of sin? And remember, the rapture had to take place before the rebuilding of the temple and before the man of sin. You see a problem here? Point number 3. Listen to me, please, very, very carefully. For a temple to be rebuilt, for a priesthood to be restored, for a sacrificial system to be restored, the law of Moses has to still be in effect. Now, I want to ask all of my dispensational friends and viewers, do you believe the law of Moses is still in effect today? Well, I can tell you this, there are no leading dispensational authors and scholars who believe that the law of Moses is still in effect. Now, let me illustrate why the law of Moses must still be in effect for there to be a temple. Have you ever heard of the ashes of a red heifer? Well, I know you have. Guess what? There can be no temple without a temple being purified by the ashes of a red heifer. There can be no priesthood without the ashes of a red heifer to sanctify and to purify the priest. There can be no additional sacrifices offered in any proposed temple without the purification of the altar of the temple by the ashes of a red heifer. Now, I suspect that if you are a dispensationalist, you're sitting there going, yeah, you're right, Mr. Preston. What's the problem, Dr. Preston? Well, here's the problem. The commandment for and the outline of the ashes of a red heifer, guess what? Are taken from Numbers chapter 19, which is an integral, foundational part of the law of Moses. Houston, we have a problem. Thomas Ice said the law of Moses was fulfilled and passed away in the 1st century. By the way, I've had 4 debates with Thomas Ice. He refuses to debate me again. But Thomas Ice says the law of Moses was fulfilled and removed, completely taken out of the way in the 1st century. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please catch the power of this. If, as Dr. Ice and virtually every leading dispensationalist agrees, the law of Moses was removed in the 1st century, the law of Moses is no longer in effect, then there's something wrong with appealing to and looking forward to a rebuilt temple in Jerusalem that has to be purified with the ashes of a red heifer, which are commanded in the law of Moses. Now, do any dispensational writers believe that the law of Moses will be restored? No. Dwight Pentecost, in his massive tome about that big, rejected categorically the idea that the law of Moses would ever be restored. Thomas Ice says the law of Moses will not be restored. Unger, the law of Moses will not be restored. Mark Hitchcock, with whom I had a formal debate in Florida, he refuses to debate me again. That debate is available, by the way, from me. No, the law of Moses will not be restored. Well, ladies and gentlemen, since any temple, any priesthood, any altar, any sacrifices offered in some proposed temple, one ostensibly being built right now, would have to be sanctified by the offering of the ashes of a red heifer. And since the commandment for the ashes of red heifer are from the law of Moses, and since the law of Moses has been completely removed, completely fulfilled, that means there cannot be a third or a fourth temple to be purified by the ashes of red heifer, which raises point number 4. We hear a lot in the news. And listen, since I was a young man in high school, this was a fascination to me. Since I was a young man in high school, I've read articles, I've followed news reports about how farmers in Texas, farmers in Nebraska, farmers here and there, and where have you, have managed to breed some red heifers. Just a couple of years ago, 5 red heifers were shipped to Jerusalem and the rabbis there by a farmer in Texas. The excitement was through the roof. Claims were made. This is proof we're in the last days. What about the law of Moses? What about the law of Moses? Okay, so these by the way, on my website, donkpreston.com, go there and in the search bar, just look up ashes of red heifer or red heifer, and you're going to find several articles there in which I not only describe, but I define and I delineate the problems with the modern day claims about the ashes of red heifer. What about those 5 that were shipped over to Jerusalem? It's been a couple of years ago now. Well, 3 of them have grown white or black hairs. The other 2 have not yet been certified even after a year. And there's a problem here. As the rabbis continually teach, you know, if a heifer gets to a certain age, it's disqualified. Well, guess what? That age is here. So what's the point? Beginning all the way back in my days in high school, that was a long time ago, every single red heifer that has been examined, every red heifer about which the claim has been made, oh, this is it. This is the red heifer that will be offered as an acceptable sacrifice. And they'll get the ashes and they'll purify a rebuilt temple, priesthood, etc., has been disqualified. A recent article by one of the leading Jewish rabbis in Jerusalem and Israel today said, we do not have a qualified red heifer today. So, all 5 have been disqualified. What good would it do to build any kind of a temple in Jerusalem right now if you don't have the ashes of a red heifer? Oh, and what good would it do to have the ashes of a red heifer since the law of Moses is no longer in effect? Do you see some of the problems, ladies and gentlemen? Listen, as I mentioned, I've written 35 books on Bible prophecy. One of them is this little book right here, Leaving the Rapture Behind. I have had people who have been dispensationalists for years and years and years and years, to use the term, dyed in the wool, who have gotten this book, and they've gotten it because they wanted to prove it wrong. And they've contacted me after reading it, going through all of the scriptures. And by the way, most of them got the book, The Last Days Identified, as well. And they have said those 2 books have absolutely changed their life. So here's what I'm going to do. If you go to my website and you order The Last Days Identified, and if you process that order, okay, I will give you a free copy of this book. So you order the book, The Last Days Identified. You send me a note that says you saw this offer on my special video on the third temple. Okay. Now, if you don't make a mention, if you don't send me a note that you saw this special offer, okay, then I won't know. So order the book, The Last Days Identified. I will give you free of charge this book on leaving the rapture behind. I hope I hope that you will pay real close attention to the points that I've shared with you today in this really brief video. These points are valid, and they prove beyond a shadow of a doubt we're not living in the last days. There is no third temple sanctioned by God or the Antichrist, because there is no red heifer. And even if there were a totally red heifer, the law of Moses is not in effect. And here is a final point. Paul said, when he spoke about the man of sin, in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, Paul said the man of sin would sit in the temple of God. And my dispensational friends say, yeah, that's what we teach. Well, do you also teach that the man of sin was being restrained in the first century? Meaning that the man of sin was alive in the first century? Do you teach that? Or are those in Jerusalem ostensibly building this third temple? Are they honoring the fact that the man of sin was already sitting in the temple in the first century? Are they honoring the fact that the man of sin was already alive and already being restrained in the first century? Listen, folks, if the man of sin was sitting in the temple of God 2,000 years ago, if the man of sin, which means, of course, the man of sin was alive 2,000 years ago, and if the man of sin was already being restrained, I mean, listen to me, you can't restrain something or someone that is not there, right? And Paul said the mystery of lawlessness is already at work. Man of sin was already there. He was at work. He just had not been fully manifested yet. And Paul says, you know that which is restraining him, and it will restrain him until he is fully revealed. Man of sin was alive. Man of sin was being restrained 2,000 years ago. Pardon me. Do yourself a huge favor. Go to my website, donkpreston.com, bibleprophecy.com. Order the book, Last Days Identified. You'll get a free copy of Leaving the Rapture Behind, in which I discuss almost every bit of this stuff, all right? Almost every bit of it. Go to the website and read the articles in the Red Heifer. It might well just change your life. Listen, we have to stop living in fear. The man of sin is not just around the corner. The great tribulation is not in your future and mine. The law of Moses has been done away with. Folks, that's good news. Hey, thanks for joining me. I'll have other videos coming up in the weeks ahead to address the modern day claims that we're in the last days and that we're looking for the Great Tribulation and the rebuilt temple and et cetera, et cetera. Be looking for that. I'll see you then.